Good evening, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome to another episode of Tousi at 10, our evening debrief show. We bring you guys the latest headlines and top stories at 10 p.m. UK time every evening. Let's talk about what we have been seeing earlier on today in London, and of course all the other news stories. First things first. The multicultural and very diverse Notting Hill Carnival is now happening in central London, and we have some chaotic news updates as a number of people have already been arrested and much more has also happened, and this is just the first few hours. And we're also going to be talking about the attack that happened obviously in Europe, in France, at a synagogue. The suspect has now been arrested. We have some information about that as well. And of course, we're going to talk about the UK government. The socialist government of Keir Starmer are preparing to obviously spread the burden of the illegal migrants by sending them around to different towns and villages and cities in the country. And finally, the latest update from the conflict in the Middle East. Israel continues to be under attack. The mainstream media seem to be quiet about this as the central part of Israel has now been hit by the Islamists from Gaza. Let's talk about the first headline, which is the Notting Hill Carnival chaos. So every year, this annual event happens, been going on for decades, and over the last few years, it's been getting worse and worse. So much crime, drugs, weapons, sexual assault, everything occurs, and seems like there's no plan to ban this or regulate it better. 38 arrests, 4 weapons have been recovered, and one man in his early 20s has been stabbed within the first few hours, by the way. Tomorrow, the carnival continues. This is a street sort of carnival. It's a very multicultural and diverse, in case you're watching this from other countries and you're not familiar with it. A Section 60 order is now in place tonight, authorizing full stop and search powers for the area. Sky News, meanwhile, has done the report on the chaos. They actually were forced to report on 38 arrests and 4 weapons and everything else. But the reporter on the ground also finished the report by saying, but the carnival is largely peaceful. Now, speaking of peaceful, of course, Islamist attacks continue to escalate across Western Europe. We had another attack in France at a synagogue over the weekend, and the suspect, who was covered in Palestinian flag and wearing a tea towel, has been arrested. Suspect who attacked the synagogue in La Grande Motte has now been detained by the police in France. He is 33 years old and he's actually from Algeria, which is not a big shock anymore. He is accused of starting the blaze that injured a policeman and damaged several cars. Of course, we'll bring you guys more information as we get it over the next few hours and day or two. The UK border crisis is getting worse. The controlling situation of the existing migrants, the illegal migrants, is getting completely out of hand in terms of the UK government. Keir Starmer's socialist cabinet are preparing to get more accommodation ready across the country. That includes not just migrant hotels, but also other sites that we have. Previously, leftist MPs have advised and suggested that British people, citizens of this country, need to be more generous and welcoming, and they need to voluntarily take in more migrants into their homes. And it's happened a few times, and it's always backfired, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we also don't really have any opposition on this from the official opposition party in the House of Commons, the so-called Conservatives, as they are a little bit busy with their extremely boring leadership election that nobody cares about. And finally, as we reported earlier in our live stream from the conflict in the Middle East, from the north, Hezbollah in Lebanon are attacking Israel, and of course from the south, Gaza are also attacking Israel now. The southern Gaza's Khan Yunis struck an open area near Rishon LeZion this evening, which is near Tel Aviv, in the center of Israel, of course, Tel Aviv has also generally been targeted over the last few hours. Nobody has been injured in terms of the strike coming from Gaza. The Tel Aviv area mostly has been protected by the Iron Dome, but not fully. Of course, Hezbollah have already also from the north said that the reason they've been sending out a lot of missiles is to simply overwhelm the Iron Dome system. The IDF have also confirmed that 270 targets have been hit in Lebanon today over the last few hours, and they will continue to defend the Jewish nation and, of course, the frontier for the Western countries. This was the latest update, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was helpful and useful for you guys. And of course, we come to you guys every evening at 10 p.m. for Tousi at 10. And every morning, we have the morning brief at 11 a.m. UK time. And throughout the day, we bring you guys any relevant breaking news, live streams, as usual. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tousi, and we are the media.